Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Um, Welcome to the first online class of MET's 204, Thermodynamics. I posted a small review about chapter 3 about reading PV and TV diagrams and reading the steam tables. I think I solved half a problem in that review as well. So I would recommend कि पहले एक दफा go over that video because today we are just gonna as our plan was originally is week all we are supposed to do is solve problems from chapter 3 and maybe one from chapter 2 as well. So let's just get started with that. Okay, so this is problem 3-34 from the Senjal Bowles textbook, if I'm not wrong. जिसमें हमारे पास क्या दिया हुआ है, all we have to do in these problems, we got 4 of these and 4 more in the next slide, is we have to find some missing data from the tables. ठीक है? In तमाम problems की basis वही state postulate है, which states that you can find the state can be established if you've got two independent intensive properties. So in each of these problems, you do have enough information to find out everything else. ठीक है? But how do you go about it? What's the thinking? उस पे हम एक एक करके problems को solve करेंगे. All right, so let's just get started with the very first one. The first problem that we've got, we are given two pieces of information. The first thing is the temperature is 140 degrees, and the second thing is that the specific volume is 0.05 meter cube per kg. हमने प्रेशर निकालना है कि क्या प्रेशर होगा इस पॉइंट पे और फेज डिस्क्रिप्शन ढूंढनी है कि फेज डिस्क्रिप्शन क्या होगी. ठीक है? So just straight off the bat, just looking at this information, you should not have any decent ideas कि हम किस region में हैं, मैंने कौन से tables भी देखने हैं, कौन से tables नहीं देखने. ठीक है? So when in doubt, I recommend that you should start first of all looking at the first set of tables, which were the tables for, table A2, properties of saturated liquid saturated water, which is in the liquid vapor mixed region. ठीक है? Mixed region के tables, which basically means के जो बीच वाला इलाका है ना, between saturated liquid line and saturated vapor line, we are looking at this region in the middle, the mixed region. ठीक है? Okay, so the information that we have given is that the temperature is 140 degrees and the specific volume is 0.5, was it? Or 0.05 meter cube per kg. So the first thing that you're supposed to do is look up this temperature of 140 degrees in your tables, which are right here, जिसके मुताबिक हमें ये कुछ ना कुछ information मिल गई है कि इस पे saturation pressure जो है that's going to be 3.6 bars. So what this means is if you're in the mixed region and the temperature is 140 degrees, that means boiling is happening, right? So water would boil at 140 degrees when the pressure is 3.6 bars or 360 kilopascal. So all these tables really do is the mixed region wali tables is they provide us data about the extremities, the saturated liquid and the saturated vapor. ठीक है? Nothing else. बीच में अगर हम lie करते हैं तो we have to sort of figure out कि हम बीच में किधर lie करते हैं. Okay? Right, so the first thing to figure out for this problem is कि क्या हम बीच में lie करते भी हैं कि नहीं, right? And depending on this data and what we already know, we should be able to figure that out. So for problem number 1, we can sort of say from the tables that VF has a value of 1.0797 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. ठीक है? Keep in mind that this is indeed minus 3 because ये table के top पे VF into 10 raised to the power 3 लिखा है. So this 1.0797 is VF into 10 raised to the power 3. That means VF is this thing into 10 raised to the power minus 3. जो कि as expected, it's around 1/1000, right? The inverse of the density, and the density should be for liquid water around 1/1000. ठीक है? And the second thing is that Vg is 0.5089, and both of these are in units of meter cube per kg. Okay? What that suggests is if your value of V is between these two values, then you're definitely within the mixed region. Okay? So is 0.05 between these two values? And the answer is that, well, obviously, because ये जो VF की value है, this is almost 0.001, right? So 0.05 is definitely between somewhere between these two values, between the value of VF and VG. So बीच में हम कहीं ना कहीं lie करते हैं, ठीक है? So you can find just about any other property that you might need based on this information. जो कि, by the way, for the purpose of this question, we don't really need much. All we need is the pressure and the phase description, जिसके बारे में we should be kind of we should be able to say sort of directly that the pressure indeed is going to be the saturation pressure, which is going to be around 360 kilopascal, 361.3 more precisely kilopascal, because that's going to be equal to the saturation pressure at 140 degrees centigrade. ठीक है? And the phase description is indeed just going to be that it's in the mixed region. इसको आप ज़्यादा डिटेल में भी लिख सकते हैं कि, for example, saturated, liquid, vapor, mixture, or something, mixed region, wet region. There are a number of names for it. But if you needed to find anything else, for example, अगर हमने यहाँ पे enthalpy निकालनी होती, ठीक है? So I'm just going to add that little small, thing to this question of ours. You also find enthalpy at this point. That we'll need to find the quality first. So we need to find x first, right? So x किस तरह निकालेंगे? Remember कि आपके पास एक equation थी कि v is just going to be equal to vf plus x into vg minus vf, right? Because x, the dryness fraction, is just sort of it tells us how far along we are along this line from saturated liquid to saturated vapor, and this is sort of a linear interpolation. अगर आप इसमें x is equal to 0 put कर देंगे, you're going to end up with v is equal to vf. X is equal to 1 put कर देंगे, you're going to end up with v is equal to vg. ठीक है? So if you need to find x, you can just manipulate the equation written down here, solve for x, जो कि क्या हो जाएगी? It's going to be v minus vf divided by vg minus vf, right? Make sense? So this is going to be equal to, if you just plug in the numbers, it's going to be 0.05, which is v at our point, minus vg, which is minus vf, sorry, which is 0.001 approximately, divided by vg minus vf, which is 0.5089 minus 0.001. ठीक है? So I'm going to leave this calculation to you कि इस तरह आप x निकाल सकते हैं, और अगर मैंने इसी तरह enthalpy इसी point पे निकालनी होती तो enthalpy could be written as just enthalpy is going to be equal to hf plus x into hg minus hf. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे हमने एक बात की थी कि this thing hg minus hf you can rewrite as hfg. ठीक है? This you can rewrite as hfg, which is directly stated in the table as well. So these are the values that we are talking about 140 degrees पे. ठीक है? So what that means is कि अगर हमने h निकालना होता तो it would have been just ये 589 वाली value, this value right here, 589.13 plus x multiplied by this hfg, the difference between hg and hf, which is 2144, right? So 2144 times 0.7 times x. ठीक है? So this is going to come out in units of kilojoules per kg. Right? Of course, this is not required for the question, for this particular question. मगर अगर मैं additionally कह देता कि also find the enthalpy at this point, so this is how you would do it. I'm going to leave the calculation to you guys. Find x, plug in x here, find h. ठीक है? All right, second question. So second question में, the things that you're provided is you know the pressure, you know that the pressure is 550 kilopascal, and you know that the state is saturated liquid. ठीक है? So which means हमें pressure पता है, हमें पता है कि boiling अभी शुरू हुई है, right? So you can just get this information directly from the tables. The table that you should be looking at is ये table A3, which shows us the property of saturated water, liquid vapor mixture sorted with respect to pressure. Now we want this to be sorted with respect to pressure because हमारे पास pressure provided है, right? We are provided with a pressure of 550 kilopascals, which is equal to how many bars? Remember that 100 bars is 100 kilopascal, sorry, is 1 bar. So this is just 5.5 bars. So all you have to do is look up 5.5 bars, जो कि by the way इसमें नहीं है. All you've got is 5 bars and 6 bars. So you just need to interpolate, which is essentially just the average for this particular case between these two values. So the things that we need are just volume and temperature, and specifically saturated liquid का volume, right? So the saturated liquid के जो volume है वो यहाँ पे is the third column in this table. So what you're supposed to do is take an average of these two values, right? And then इसको हमने multiply करना 9 to 10 raised to the power minus 3 से. And for temperature, just take the average of these two values, right? So temperature is going to be E is just going to be equal to the average of 151.9 plus 158.9 divided by 2. Right? Which I'm going to leave for you to calculate. It should be around close to 154 or something. Okay. And the second thing that you need to find out is the volume. So the volume is just going to be the average of these two values. जिसको मैंने इतना accurately वैसे भी नहीं लिखना था. So I'm just going to write this as 1.095, just the average of these two values, जो कि नजर आ रहा है कि तकरीबन 1.095 के आसपास कहीं है. चलो 6 कर लो, doesn't matter. Into 10 raised power minus 3. Okay. So that's going to be your volume in units of meter cube per kg. Right. So this is for point 2, जिसके बारे में हम ये लिख सकते हैं कि roughly the temperature is going to be around maybe 154, and this is not exact, and I'm going to leave the calculations once again to you guys, and the volume is going to be around, honestly, this much. Okay, more exact values are, of course, you can calculate them. All right, next up, अभी तक इन दोनों में हमें सिर्फ ये mixed region के ही tables चाहिए थे because we figured out that we were indeed lying in the mixed region. What about this third one? So यहाँ पे हमसे कहा जा रहा है कि टेम्परेचर 125 डिग्रीज है और प्रेशर 750 किलो पैस्कल या 7.5 बार्स है. ओके, सो यू माइट आइडेंटिफाई कि अच्छा चलो ठीक है, वी गॉट एलिवेटेड प्रेशर, राइट? 100 किलो पैस्कल होता था एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर, सो यू आर एट एलिवेटेड प्रेशर ऑफ 750 kilopascal or 7.5 bars. So the boiling point of water, which is going to be called the saturation temperature of water, is indeed going to rise above 100 degrees. ठीक है? So what I'm alluding to here is कि although हमें वैसे नहीं पता चल सकता, हमें टेबल देखना पड़ेगा, मगर इट्स टोटली पॉसिबल कि 125 डिग्री पे पानी बॉयल ही ना हुआ हो. ठीक है? और इट्स जस्ट राइट हियर 7.5 is the average of these two, right? The average of these two. 7.5 bars पे जब मैंने टेम्परेचर, सैचुरेशन टेम्परेचर निकालना होगा तो वो इन दोनों की एवरेज होगा. So that means this water boils at around 168 degrees when the pressure is so high, right? So that means कि अब ये पानी बॉयल ही नहीं हुआ, right? That's what it means. कि now you've got a temperature which is much lower than the saturation temperature, so पानी बॉयल ही नहीं हुआ. So since पानी boil नहीं हुआ, हम on a TV diagram we are somewhere in the compressed liquid region. हमारे पास liquid water है, mixed region में नहीं है, हम compressed liquid region में है. So हमारी पहली instinct ये कहनी चाहिए कि अच्छा चलो ठीक है, what we got is compressed liquid. So find the tables for compressed liquid, which were these tables right here. Table किधर गए? A5. properties of compressed liquid water. ठीक है, but as I explained in class as well, the problem with these tables is कि ये तो चार different pressure की values पे, बल्कि actually 6 different, बल्कि 8 माशाल्लाह different pressure की values इस पे given है, and the smallest of them is 25 bars. The pressure that we have is 7.5 bars. ठीक है, but we also sort of mentioned कि honestly pressure is not going to be the defining factor. ठीक है, what's going to be the defining factor is basically the temperature. So अगर मैं 25 बार पे देखूं, or if I'm looking at like trying to find temperature of 125, I'm obviously not really going to find a temperature of 125. So I've got a couple of options. Option number one is to try to interpolate between these two values, right? Not a very cool idea, but इन दो values के बीच में मैं 125 पे temperature पे V निकाल सकता हूँ, probably. But honestly, it's too much trouble. And it's not necessary, right? We did a problem similar to this in class. You might remember this case, since we sort of already know okay, it's gonna the volume is only gonna vary much with respect to temperature. The easiest thing to do is actually go back up all the way back to A2, which were these temperature के लिहाज से sorted tables. Find a temperature of 125, जो कि आपको directly तो खैर नहीं मिलेगा, but you can just take the average of these two values, 120 or 130 पे, ठीक है? And that is going to be a specific volume, right? So we can almost estimate that the specific volume is going to be like 1.065 into 10 raised power minus 3, and we can directly plug that in here, pretty much. Honestly, compressed liquid, so it's the same, value. अगर हम इसे ज़्यादा precisely लिखना होगा तो हम ये लिख सकते हैं, ठीक है? And if we are adding more precision, तो ऊपर वाले को भी हम क्या लिख सकते हैं? इतना लिख सकते हैं, ठीक है? Not really necessary. मेरे हिसाब से तमाम liquids को ये 3 significant figures तक this is good enough accuracy, but just for completion. Okay. इसका phase क्या होगा? हमने अभी कुछ टाइम पहले बात की थी that your temperature is much lower than the saturation temperature, so you have not reached that boiling point, so that means you're still in liquid state. More precisely, we are going to call this the compressed liquid region. Yeah, compressed liquid. Okay, you're in the compressed liquid region, and the fluid is compressed liquid. Okay, so far so good, really easy to do. Okay, आखिरी वाले में we got a temperature of 500 degrees. So पहली बात तो ये कि temperature of 500 degrees से बात सीधी सीधी साबित होनी चाहिए कि you definitely are not in any liquid or mixed region, because this critical point had a temperature of around 373 degrees. So your temperature is actually greater than that temperature. ठीक है? So you definitely, there's no real point in looking into the table for the mixed region. आपको definitely superheated region में ही देखना है, ठीक है? So this is a bit of a challenge, not too big a challenge, but still इसी बात से हमें clear हो जाना चाहिए कि हमें देखना चाहिए, we should be looking at the superheated vapor region, ठीक है? And try to find a volume of 0.14 meter cube per kg somewhere along those tables. बाकी सारी values we can find accordingly. So the first thing that we can say probably directly is that you are definitely in the superheated region. There's no real need to look at any tables or anything, because this value is even greater than the critical point, so it's just not possible for you to be in any other region. अगर आपको ये बात नहीं याद रहती, तो remember mixed region के जो tables थे, which were these tables A2, they only go up to that critical temperature की value, which is more precisely 374 Celsius. So इसके ऊपर ये tables जाते ही नहीं, और there's no point, because at this point you might notice that these two values are pretty much the same values, right? There's no difference between saturated liquid and saturated vapor. They are giving us the same values, right? Okay, so we are definitely now in the superheated region, or superheated region ke tables were these tables A4, properties of superheated water vapor, right? So now what we're trying to do here is we are trying to find a temperature of 500 degrees, जो कि आपको काफी सारे mini tables के अंदर मिल जाएंगे, right? You might remember बात हुई थी कि superheated जो tables हैं, they are composed of a number of mini tables. So the first one is this entire table, which is given at a pressure of 0.06 bar, उसके बाद 0.35 bars, and 0.7, 1 bar, इस तरह at different pressures आपके पास ये कुछ mini tables नजर आ रहे हैं, ठीक है? So what we're trying to do is we are trying to find a set of values कि जहाँ पे temperature 500 है और जो volume है वो 0.14 है, which you're not really going to directly find, but you can definitely get close enough. So 0.14, and you can probably notice a trend here, right? कि आपके पास pressure बहुत कम है, तो you got a really large volume, at that really low pressure, और उसके बाद यहाँ पे इसके specific volume काफी कम हो गया जब pressure बढ़ा रहे हैं. So as you're increasing the pressure 500 degrees पे ही volume की value कम हुई जा रही है. So you have to scroll down until you find a volume की value which is closer to the required value of 0.14. Right? So keep going down and we find this wonderful value where the specific volume, which is the first column in these mini tables, is 0.1484. And wait a second, I'm looking at the wrong, I'm looking at a temperature of 700. I should always be looking at this temperature of 500. Okay, okay, so फिर भी we find कि 500 पे pressure जब 20 बार है, तो I've got a volume of 0.1757, और pressure जब 30 बार है, तो I've got a volume of 0.1162. ठीक है? And before I do any crazy interpolation, if you just take an average between these two, if I just take an average of 0.1162 plus 0.1757 and divide by 2, I actually get 0.1459. So if if you don't want to do anything too accurate, then you can sort of just suggest कि यार जो pressure की value, that should also be somewhere between these two pressure key values of 20 bars and 30 bars, probably very close to 25 bars. But if you want to be more specific, then you're going to have to interpolate between these two.